Hello guys, I'm Aldi Ruidat. So in this session we will discuss about escrow account. Check it out. What is escrow account? Escrow account in Indonesian is known as rekber. The definition of the term escrow account is an account that is used to accommodate special funds whose procurement is carried out with certain conditions in accordance with the agreement between the depositor and the party having an interest in the funds. Simply put, an escrow account can be understood as an account provided by a third party to accommodate and channel funds to parties involved in the online transactions. These third parties are called escrow agents. The existence of an escrow agent not only manages funds but also ensures that the parties involved in the transaction carry out their obligation and their rights. In the provision of an escrow account, an escrow agent takes advantage of the escrow service available in all conventional banks. The escrow account in accommodating and storing funds from interested parties still involves the role of bank financial institution. Escrow accounts are currently not only used for buying and selling transactions of goods and services online, but also peer-to-peer financing service, even property and stocks. And then, where can we find the escrow account? For example, in an online buying and selling transaction, an escrow agent receives an amount of funds paid by the buyer for the goods purchased after adding shipping costs. The funds are held in an escrow account for a while until the seller sends the goods to the buyer. If the buyer has received the goods purchased from the seller, the escrow agent then channels the funds to the seller.
Hello everyone, I am Joshetian Halim and I will continue the explanation about escrow account. Now we will show you how the payment flow when we use escrow account as a payment method. Here we have three parties: buyer, seller, and escrow agent. Let's say the buyer wants to buy seller's goods using escrow account as a payment method. The buyer makes the payment and the money will be accommodated by the escrow agent. The payment will be verified by escrow agent. Then escrow agent notifies the seller that payment has been made. The seller sends the good to buyer. After the buyer inspects and accepts the good, escrow agent then sends the payment money for the goods to the seller. As we know, this mechanism is similar when we do transactions at e-commerce, such as Tokopedia and Shopee, because now many of e-commerce have been integrated with escrow agent. Escrow service that I recommend for you for your international transaction is escrow.com. You can visit the website at escrow.com to know more. And JP Morgan escrow service. For local escrow agent, there are some banks that provide escrow service, such as Bank Muamalat and Permata Bank. Escrow account is provided to increase payment safety in online purchasing. Escrow account, in principle, ensures the security of transaction for both the buyer and the seller as well. For buyer, in many cases of online transaction fraud, seller does not send the item purchased when the buyer has already made a payment. By using escrow account, seller will not get the money from buyer if the item has not arrived. So if the seller has not delivered the purchased item within the agreed time, then the money from the buyer can be returned by the escrow agent. For seller, escrow account is beneficial for securing certainty of payment by the buyer. Even though escrow account makes the transaction more secured, but the weakness is the time to get payment for the seller's goods become longer. So escrow account is made to protect us, either as a buyer or the seller. That's all from our explanation about escrow account. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sorry if there are mistakes. If you have any question, feel free to ask any question. See you guys, stay safety and have a nice day.